Recorded Books Incorporated presents an unabridged recording of Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Narrated by Barbara Caruso. This recording is copyrighted 1995 by Recorded Books Incorporated. Little Women, first published in 1868, is one of the best love stories in American literature. It is about four sisters, Jo, Meg, Beth, and Amy March. But to fully appreciate the book, it's good to know something about Louisa May Alcott, for the March family is in many ways the Alcott family, and Jo March is Louisa May Alcott herself. Louisa May Alcott was born on November 29th, 1832, in Germantown, Pennsylvania, but lived most of her life in and around Boston and Concord, Massachusetts, where Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry David Thoreau were among her friends and neighbors. She was the second of four daughters of strongly individual parents. Her father, Amos Bronson Alcott, was a well-known transcendental philosopher, writer, and teacher. His ideas on education were far ahead of his time, and of course his own children were among those who benefited most from his gifted teaching. For several years he ran the experimental Temple School in Boston, where he tried to develop the bodies and spiritual natures, as well as the minds, of his students. Unfortunately, his teaching and writing brought very little money into the Alcott household. At the young age of 16, Louisa decided she must begin to contribute, and started a little school. She wrote a collection of stories for her pupils called Flower Fables, which became her first published book in 1854, when she was 22 years old. Her school was not a success, and she began to take on menial jobs for an income. She wrote constantly. During the Civil War, she worked as an untrained nurse in army hospitals, an experience she recorded in a volume called Hospital Sketches. Published in 1863, it was her first successful book. Unknown to her family and fans, under the pen name of A.N. Barnard, she had begun writing vivid, racy, and romantic novels with titles like Pauline's Passion and Punishment for serialization in illustrated newspapers and women's magazines. She called them rubbishy novels, but they brought her a good income. And then, in 1867, a publisher urged her to write a story for girls, and she decided to give it a try. The result was Little Women, a book so popular that its readers soon demanded a sequel,